Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Devil's Advocate, a video game podcast. I'm here with my friend Keaton Kirby. Keaton, what's up, man?
Nothing much, you.
No, you just got your ass kicked in Apex Legends. Don't lie. Don't lie to the listeners. You just got your ass handed to you, and now
I would
you're
say
crying.
I finished third
You
in
finished
a ranked
third.
match.
Wow.
Now, once we want to dive into it, that's going to be my little rant real quick because I know we can't spend too long because
Last time we
a lot has
had
happened.
30 minutes of anime.
Oh yeah, let's jump right back into that, man. Attack on Titan.
Oh my god. That episode, by the way, has 400 views, so maybe we need to talk
Are you
about anime
serious?
more. Yeah.
We had 400 views on this podcast.
On the last one, yeah.
Hey, people. I was just like under this assumption because like you and I were talking about prior to it is we used to be able to or work together prior time. Found out we had a lot of common ground. We worked in the same area. Used to probably hang out at least once a week. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, we go grab
Of course
lunch together.
It wasn't good for my body,
Not mine either.
but I was able to shoot the. I don't know if we cussed or not, but shoot the
Nah,
crap,
you can shoot
and
the shit. It's all right.
yeah, had a good time. And then with COVID hit, really we weren't able to, or have not been able to. And of course, I've been working from home, which is it's kind of odd because we actually do only live like 20 miles from, not even 20 miles from one another, so like a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
I
But
guess
you
that's
had a
our part
baby.
of not knowing enough. That is true, but hopefully we'll, eventually, because I know you got your own place now, we can set up a little area and maybe we can start
I
grabbing
had
some
mics.
whiskey and having it live,
Yeah,
here shortly. But yeah, that's we started it out just to catch up, and that's pretty
Yeah,
cool that like
exactly.
there's more listeners than like 10.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly,
like-
man. Exactly. Now, I will admit, like, the first few episodes, especially in, like, the Kirby Brothers ones, I think we would have, like, obviously they would go up and down, they'd be in, like, the 40s or the 50s or whatever. But then there would be, like, it would say your estimated audience size was, like, 6 or 7 or something like that. So it was, like,
Right.
six or 7 people consistently listening while, other people are just coming and going, which is fine.
Yeah, I think the name change may have helped a little bit too, because
Yeah, I
like
think so, too.
the Kirby's brother almost sounds like, dude, are these like the Super Mario Brothers or just Kirby super fans,
Yes.
and that's all they talk about? Is
Dude,
Kirby?
if I can grow a mustache, and I know you can, like, if we would shave that, and then, like, for Halloween, we dress up like the Mario Brothers, that would be great.
But
would
that's
be
pretty cool.
great.
I'm
Yeah,
dope amount of listens. I mean, if anyone's out there, I know we probably create some kind of outlet so people can contact us. I don't know, like, what did you like about it? Because that would be interesting to find out.
yeah, exactly. So that would be good. Be sure to add comments and stuff to the podcast pages and all that good jazz. Keaton, obviously a lot of news came out over the past few weeks. We had a little lull last week. We didn't do a podcast, which is fine. I know me and you both had some stuff going on, so that's good. This week ended up being free and wanted to do this right before the Super Bowl. This episode will probably drop on.
Let's go Bengals. It's the year of the
Monday.
Tiger for a reason.
Yeah, I might drop it immediately after this, as long as I don't have to edit anything. So I'm gonna drop it after this probably, and then we'll have another episode up. But yes, go Bengals. I don't even watch football. I don't know nothing. I don't pretend to know nothing. Who's Joe Burrows?
Yeah, he's the Bengals quarterback.
All right, cool. Go Joe Burrows. Drop back at Joe Burrow.
That's Joe Burrow, yeah.
I don't know anything. I'm not gonna pretend to know anything.
It's one of them things. I'll fill it in real quick. Sports talk. This will get us
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
600 listeners.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Cincinnati is just one of them. First of all, it's a small. I wouldn't say small city. I couldn't tell you the demographics of it, but it's based off of the Pennsylvania, Ohio, like 3-state city area or whatever it's called. So I know you got like not I guess state, but there's Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, kind of all in that general area.
Mm-hmm.
And Cincinnati is a team that has not won the Super Bowl yet. Went there twice and lost twice. So they did not. I guess you can look at the betting odds. They were nowhere near close to the betting odds of even getting there this year. And it's just kind of cool because it is the Cinderella team. So when my team's not in it, which they're probably not going to be in it for years, shout out Panthers.
They're not gonna be in it
But
ever,
I did.
ever
Well, I
again.
mean, they made it twice too, though.
Yeah, true.
So I can't say that because a lot of times you can just get one player. Although we're not
changed the
going
whole
to.
dynamic.
We're not jump deep into that. I was just saying, Cincinnati, Cinderella team. No one thought they'd be here. Defensive line for the Rams is insane. The offensive line for the Cincinnati is not great. So more or less, the majority of people are like, yeah, they're probably not going to win. But hey, I think it's a cool thing. I'm glad they're there. I listened to a podcast called Around the NFL. One of the guys on there, his name was Chris Wessling. Shout out to him.
Back in the day, I was a big fan of ESPN's Around the Horn.
Well, it's kind of cool because the podcasting world and around the NFL is actually kind of like that because it's kind of, I would say, not goofy, but it's got a better demeanor about it where it's not taking things too seriously. But it was one I listened to for years. And Wessling he's from Cincinnati, and he passed away this past year. And it's pretty interesting following this along with some of his best friends on this podcast, as well as they bring his wife on, who is actually a Rams fan, but she's also in this battle of because she thinks it's her deceased husband in a way that's spiritually hey, this is for you, so it's pretty cool. So that kind of makes me want to cheer for Cincinnati a little bit more, and hopefully they pull it off. So go Bengals.
Go Bengals. Bengals. Go get them, Bengals.
Right.
Exactly. So a lot of video game news the past couple of weeks. I will say one thing I want to bring up just at the start of the thing. I want to talk about obviously what we're playing at the start, and then we can kind of get into some different topics such as the Bungie purchase from Sony and the Uncharted movie and anything I'm missing.
Okay.
Is there anything I'm missing?
I mean, we got to talk about the Nintendo Directs.
Oh, yeah, Nintendo Direct. I forgot about that as well.
That was pretty solid.
That was very solid.
And for big news pieces, I would say that's probably the majority of it.
I think that's all we can cover in an hour 15.
Yeah, and we can touch on the Elden Ring,
You can. I don't know anything about Elden Ring. You could.
Well, I'll start off with what I'm playing real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that way we can. So yes, the new season of Apex Legends just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to call this the Pat and Rant of the week. I don't know. We got some kind of name for it.
Rant, boy.
Obviously, it's a new model that's taken over the gaming industry. It does seem to work quite well with certain games that at least have the player base, including Apex Legends, which is huge, is carrying EA in some ways because Battlefield just completely shat the bed.
Yep.
But my biggest issue with these ongoing games is this. I understand it's got to be super hard for developer because it's like a always moving target.
Yep.
So this season, this is the 12th season, third year anniversary of this game. They had a percent of, we'll call it auto aim on gamepad based, systems and players.
Yeah.
They decided to adjust it this season, and it's the weirdest thing because I know I'll get adjusted to it hopefully. Yeah. But it took it from a value that was a little higher, so it helped you get more or less aim, to a value that's a little lower.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't help you as much now.
Right. It throws it off right now. And it's so weird because it's this just doesn't, even though it's because it's really not, it was like a 0.6 value to a 0.4, and I couldn't tell you what it is based off of, if it's a dead zone thing.
Yeah.
Or once you lock on to the, I guess magnetism is what I call it in some ways. I don't really know exactly how but you can feel a difference. And it's one of those weirdest things when you play a game for pretty much 3 years on and off, and they just adjust it by this small value, and you're like, this does not feel right. It does not feel good. It does not feel right. Something is off. And that's pretty much the first thing. And the second thing, and this is the rant that I'm going on, and this is why I want to, this value was adjusted because of PC players. Right. So we have a couple of friends, we play in PC lobbies, crossplay. Dude, PC is superior by far than gamepad. I don't care who you are, what you do, how you do it. The way you can lock with a mouse, it is so much easier. You can snap lock.
Unless you're
it's so much easier. The only thing that made a difference is the auto aim when you're, aim assist when you're actually hip firing I would say, gave a controller advantages at that point in time.
Yeah.
But dude, in these matches we played, 90% of the matches, we would get in long range altercations and we couldn't even push these PC players because how well they can snap. And I'm just sitting there in my head, these guys complain so much. Why do you sit there and do an adjustment to cater to an already superior system with already field of view enhancements that, console players are not going to get? I'm pretty sure it already runs at a higher frames per second, as in hertz. So I'm sitting there in my head, how and why did you adjust these values from an already superior platform in some ways. And then you're going to turn around and there's this thing called strafing, like jump strafing, which is an impossible movement in the game, and only PC players can more or less do it. And they don't even remove that. And if you're a gamepad controller and you get on with one of these people who can really do this well, you might as well just throw all your armor and guns down because you're not going to win the fight. Yeah. So like it blows my mind that these like they're listening to this community.
Well, they just need to turn crossplay off for PC then.
Wait, that's the other thing is like it kind of irritates me is like you want to be able to play with your friends, and then with the way the ecosystem is moving forward, and this is kind of what Microsoft is hoping and planning on doing, is we do want to get to a place where you can play across the board with everyone.
Yeah,
I just want all games in some ways to be fair, and people are like, oh man, if you're really good and play at high sensitivity, that's because you're really good. To me, it's just like if you really want to be fair, you have to find some kind of common ground because like. It's not fair that some person can be born into a situation where they get a $3,000 PC gaming rig, and then your parents have to save all year to buy a One X, which is probably super expensive. Like, and then you're going to sit there and throw out complaints like this. Like, I understand it's going to be an ongoing thing because of what is happening with this ecosystem. Because like Halo doesn't really have the issue as much because for whatever reason the values I guess of the aim assist I think it's not as bad.
There is no aim assist on PC. I learned that the other day.
Well, I don't think there's aim assist on the majority of PC because of
the way the mouse I realized why I was so trash because I'm using a controller and all my friends have aim assist and I'm using a controller on PC and it still doesn't give you aim assist even if you're using a controller.
Now that's a little odd. Yeah, they got to think that.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing too.
I just thought I was trash.
Can you turn it on somehow?
No, apparently there is. So there's a way if you don't touch your keyboard at all, and you plug in your controller and you have it on the whole time. But when I'm playing PC games, I use a DualShock controller. I use the PS5 controller, right? Because I just don't like Xbox controller. It's no offense to Xbox, that's just not the controller I'm used to. So I use that. But if my finger touches the touchpad at all, it recognizes that as the mouse pad on your computer.
Okay.
So while I'm playing, I'll accidentally tap that, then boom, no aim assist for Tanner.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
There's a lot of room for improvement. That's just my rant. Like I know we're going towards a cross-play system and a cross-play world.
I think there should be little boxes where you could just say, between consoles, check. Crossplay between consoles, check. Or crossplay between PC, X, or check.
Well, there is in some games, but my thing is, how about we just do it per input device?
Yeah.
So that way, if you do want to play with someone with a PC, like you, for instance, who's playing the controller, my cousin I play with all the time, he grew up playing controller. He bought a gaming rig, PC gaming rig, and the only time he uses it for like RTSs. Yeah. And he'll actually use gamepads. So we've been playing a bunch of Rainbow Six Extraction.
And how do you like that, by the way? I haven't played much of it.
I know. I guess we got to finish. So what we playing? Because my rant of Apex ran into this crossplay stuff.
No, that's good.
It's actually a lot better and more, I wouldn't say, I guess it's a lot better. More fun than I expected.
That's good.
And also, kudos to them. In this day and age, it runs pristine.
Good.
I've had no issues running it right now. No, like it's running. I'm not sure the Series X. To be honest with you, I haven't looked it up, but 60 frames per second at least. Right. I'm playing on a monitor that's not 4K now, so I can't look up that 4K 120, which I know they sit there and say like Series X is going to be able to perform or do that. I guess you would say. I don't see it happening unless it's like the last game on the console and somehow they optimize the shit out of it to squeeze out a game that runs 4K 120 because that is hard. Dude. There's PC rigs that can't even do that right now.
Right.
And but with that being like it runs, it plays. They're doing exactly like every other game where they're wanting to use it as a games of a service, long life ahead of it. It's one of those things where I don't see why they didn't just release it as like a DLC. I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Because there is no PvP. It's us PvE.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna be honest. I played it and had no idea what was going on. And we might have played one game and we were just like, eh.
Well, see, that's what it's so funny because I played it and I did the VR training.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, okay, it's all right. It moves slower than most shooters because of Rainbow. It's got, wants to be a little more tactical and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, I saw my cousin because I told him to download it. So by the time I got on again and he was online, dude, he already dropped like 11 hours in it.
Damn.
So I was just like, instead of doing more training and familiarize myself, like it's so much easier just to play alongside with him and him feel you in.
Yeah.
Than it was
What
to
to
just
do.
go through the menus or the narration from,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that made it a whole lot better because now we're to the point where we're playing. And we haven't really got, because we're kind of grinding my characters right now. His characters are kind of more grinded out, which is a dude, by the way, kind of a dope mechanic in the game. And I kind of wish it could be explored even like multiplayer wise, like even through like Apex Legends, for instance. So like your character went down, right?
Yeah. You have to extract them.
If you don't extract them, they're out for X amount of time. And if their health goes down, same thing. You have to wait for them to heal up. And then that's like, in a weird way, like, that's kind of stupid. Then but it forces you to use these other players, these other kits. And it was kind of like, and the way they kind of weaved it into the narrative of that game, I was like, that's kind of impressive. Like, it's interesting. Cool. At first, I was like, it's going to suck. But then I'm like, this is kind of cool. I have to use this different character now. And then you're like, oh, I kind of like this guy. So it's kind of wicked. Like, even like Apex Legends, let's say you play one match or 3 matches with the same character or something like that. Next game, they're locked out just because you didn't get a win or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, do something cool like that to force players to, I don't know, do something else. But I don't know. It's a cool mechanic. It should be explored a little more. It'd be kind of cool, like the new Batman game. Like, imagine if you're playing as Batgirl and she goes down.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for that Batman game.
So, like,
glad it didn't get delayed. Suicide Squad.
Right?
I was more excited for Suicide Squad than Arkham Knights or whatever.
Yeah. And this is free for all those developers out there because it's a cool idea because you have 4 players. So then as Red Hood, you got to go get Batgirl out or you can't use her until you save her.
Yeah, that would be cool.
How cool would it be?
It sucks that game's only 2 players.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I've been playing that Rainbow. I played a little bit of Dying Light again. I waited for the 104 patch that came out. I enjoy it. It's like
I didn't play the first one, so
yeah, it's like Skyrim to be honest with you, but like zombies. And then what I mean by that is the combat's very similar, but they embed it in the way you can move in like parkour, which is really cool. So actually, I think the combat's a lot, I guess, engaging than Skyrim in some ways. The chases are really cool. It's like Grand Theft Auto with zombies, so that's kind of cool. The story, which is from what all the reviewers and stuff, like that's probably the portion that gets the most mixed reactions. So I haven't really got that far in it yet to really be like, hey, this X amount of character, X kind of storyline. It's kind of weird, and I know we've talked about this before with like expectations, like even like going and seeing movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm already bracing for it. So like, am I really giving the game its due diligence? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And the perfect example, and if anyone can go back and listen to this, I had to call Tanner. Was it 2 years ago on The Last of Us 2?
Yeah.
Because when I beat that game, I was irate. I think it's a terrible story. I think again, you guys need to go and listen to that story in some concepts or aspects. But like,
it's just me disagreeing with him most of the time.
And again, it is probably based off of the reviews because everybody's like, phenomenal story, wraps up this, wraps up that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like Dragon Ball Z. Let's just add another big. And when I mean that, like, big villain, I could not stand that. And I got to throw this out here again because I want people to know this.
Yeah.
Literally, the story, spoiler alert, is based off of a character in the first game that is more or less killed.
Yeah.
Per some person who seeks nothing but revenge on X person. And I shouldn't say that because probably everybody knows the characters. And it blows my mind that they even go to the point during the game to make narration per like people in the game. Like you shoot John in the knee, and Abby would be like, "No, I shouldn't say Abby. That's the main character." Some other girl, Natalie, would be like, "Oh no, John!" And then she comes to go help John, and he crack her in the head with a damn sledgehammer or something, and her brains are all over the. So in my head, I'm like, literally, you just killed the parents of Chris. And next game, Chris is coming after you. So it's like,
I know. You're like
literally doing nothing but creating a loop. And there's no way to end the loop. And the story didn't end the loop other than the fact that
it did end the loop.
It just ended it for Ellie, but you just massacred 2,000 other people. So how are you not going to have possibly 2,000 other people who created another loop that are going to come after you? So there's no way.
It's the end of the world.
No.
What's going to happen?
There's just no way. Like that's
just
the part
telling
that
you,
bothers
Keaton,
me.
if you hurt my dog in
man.
any way, I'm coming with the golf club and your brains are getting blasted. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just getting you sent, and you just proved my point. You're just going to have that loop over and over again. So, like, to me, it's just cheap writing because you can literally write into the loop over and over again. Now, I believe there will be a Last of Us Part 3. And in some way, somehow,
You think we're getting that remake?
this was, yeah, we are going to get that remake for sure, because why not? But if it wraps up the story and The Last of Us 2,
will I get it? Like, do I want to?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I would like a Uncharted Drake's Fortune remake rather than a Last of Us. Because, I mean, I can play Last of Us today and it feels great.
Yeah. The Last of Us
still looks great.
Because the HBO series.
Show. I understand that, but why don't you release like a 2-pack of the first 2 games and say it's a remaster or some shit? Well, and then throw in the factions multiplayer with it, and then say, okay, there you go.
Yep. There is rumors, and there's actually rumors, and I can't tell you where I read this on, but supposedly it might be a Battle Royale game. And I was thinking, how cool would it be in a weird way? Cool. I wouldn't put like a lot of players on there because I think it would be better if you had the clickers in there.
I would like more like a DayZ.
Yeah, by the way, there's a game coming to Xbox called The Day Before.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
It looks pretty sick. It looks like a modern DayZ, like MMO-ish thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than Pokemon Arceus, I'm still grinding that game out. I just wish like 5 or 6, man.
Okay, well, I haven't even got that far. I'm still in 4.
Which area you at? Because you can get to the areas without doing your start.
The mountain one.
Is it like muddy?
Yeah.
And there's like grabblers and swamps. Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, spoilers. After that, it just does like a coastline and I think a snowy mountain, maybe. I believe. Gotcha. I think that's it. And I just got past the coastline. But here's the problem with that game: you can finally catch a Growlithe.
Yeah.
And that Growlithe is super, super rare spawn, dude. So I'm sitting there going back to my camp and resting for I probably did this for 2 hours. And I caught 2 Growlithe. And then, again, I'm sorry, listeners, and I'm not being sexist about this. But, like, they're both females. And I'm like, man, if I'm going to get an Arcanine, like, he's got to be a male, dude. I want him to be, like, super mean and aggressive, you know? Like, I just, you know, so I had to sit there.
I bet if you could find a heavy one, they'd probably be male.
Well, I finally, I got a, now who's sexist? I'm just kidding.
Nah.
But I got I did finally catch a male, and I put him in my party.
Good.
And it's really weird because Pokemon didn't have, sexes, I guess you would say, originally.
Yeah.
But, like, there's so many Pokemon that, like, I feel like have to be a female.
Yeah.
Or have to be a male.
Yeah.
It's just in my head. Like,
well, I know. Really they've got feminine qualities and stuff like that.
Yeah. And if they did a little bit of adjustments, and I think they are trying to do that
going
forward.
Is Machoke and Machamp, are there female Machokes and Machamps?
There is.
See, that's weird to me.
Exactly. Like, you see what I'm coming at now.
I see where you're coming from.
You would want a male Machoke all the way up through Machamp, right? Like, you would want a male. But now, like, in the future...
I mean, it would be cool if there was, like, female Machoke and Machamp, and she had, like, different hairstyle where she doesn't look like Brock Lesnar.
I'd say put like a trainer bra on her, give her some breasts. And
no, I don't want that. I just like just throw her a longer hair, like give her bigger scales or something.
Yeah, and they could do something like that to make it, like you said, give it a little more feminine qualities.
To show me the difference,
Great game. That's what I've been playing. So that's pretty much it for now.
Did you know that
Horizon
game didn't have battles?
By the way, Friday.
Did you know that game did have battles? Like battles between other players?
Oh, yeah, like online battle? Yeah,
I didn't know that. That kind of pisses me off because I'm like, because my goal is always to get level 100 Machamp and then level him up till he's the best Pokemon in the game. And now I just kind of like, I don't really want to because I don't have anybody to battle.
Dude, I don't know.
No one's going to step up to the plate, so...
They need to. The next iteration needs to be this.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't look like terrible dog shit.
Yeah.
But also add the battles back. I don't think they're going to do that. The only reason why I say that is because I think there's going to be 2 different spinoffs. And I don't know if the main series, like the Sword and Shield or whatever, will be adopting the way this game looks. Because that's what I think most people want, right?
Yeah.
Elite Four kind of thing, 8 gym battles, like. open world exploration. Like, let's do this. And it'd be even more cool if they did it kind of like, instead of doing it like hub areas, where they could eventually do it to the point where it's like you start at like Pallet Town and it's completely open and you can accidentally. I mean, of course, what's really cool about the games is they do gatekeep you with like certain HMs, I guess you would say, from like the Kanto game, like the original. Yeah. And you can still do that. That would be a cool way because like you walk into a cave and you can't see anything. Back in the day on the 2D cave, people sit there and mapped out, so you can go through. It's like, was it Mountain Cornet or Comet or whatever? Something and people mapped out the cave in the dark, and you could sit there and you could still see the ladders because it showed like a lot of the ladders.
Yep.
And we were getting through them caves without ever using Flash because at that point you couldn't remove the move, and I was like, hell, my Pikachu's not learning Flash. You know, like,
yeah, exactly.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
But in a 3D world, man, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm excited for that series because this game is the first one that's kind of like got me like, they can do more with this to actually like make it
decent.
And I believe it's selling extremely well, which is, I mean, you brought this up and it's not doing 2 versions. And I think it's one of them things where like I bought it for my little nephew. It's his 7-year-old birthday.
Yeah.
7-year-old now. It was his 7th birthday, and he was having a hard time because there is a lot of dialogue in this game.
Oh my god! Just press A. Just press A and hope for the best.
That'll make it a little more appealing to younger kids if you would actually add voiceovers.
Yeah.
Your main character, don't worry about it. Everyone else, you know, that's going to have like these massive dialogues, give them some voiceovers.
Yeah, I agree.
Helps with it. Second to that is like my brother and I, who are, you know, in our 30s now. Dude, we're loving it. So I feel like it's the actual grown-up, aged-up Pokemon game.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of it. And as well as selling, I'm hoping Pokemon turns around and says, hey, maybe we actually need to worry about the 20 through 40 age group and figure out how to create, you know, I mean, the next game could be a dope Pokemon Dark Souls, man. You're walking through, Arcanine comes out of nowhere, like rips your head off.
I don't want to be pissed off while playing Pokemon.
The screen pops up and says, you blacked out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you are dead. You got to start all the way back in Pallet Town.
No, you wake up at the Pokemon Center, and it's just a hot-ass Nurse Joy.
Oh, my God.
I'm just messing with you guys.
Let's see. I've been playing Pokemon, obviously. I'm still playing Legends Arceus. And I've started back playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Just trying to, you know, I never beat the first game. I started it, got pretty far, then stopped for a while. I think, around that time that game came out, there was a lot of other games out at that time that I was playing as well. So I never finished it, so I'm going back to it trying to finish it. But I'll tell you, the graphics are great, the gameplay's great. I don't give a damn about the story. I don't know what the hell's going on. It doesn't interest me. I understand there's robot dinosaurs. I understand that it's like post-apocalypse and there's these little tribes and stuff. I just don't give a damn. And I feel bad. But I'm the same way with Killzone. I loved Killzone's gameplay. I love the graphics. It's very pretty. Both of those series are very pretty. I don't give a damn about Killzone.
Yeah. Hey, I'm excited.
I know. There's so many people that are excited, and even my roommates back in college, they were like, I loved Horizon. The story was so good in Horizon. I'm like, really? Because I'm not, granted, I haven't beat the game, obviously, yet. But I'm just kind of like, eh. And it kind of makes me want to wait to get Horizon, instead of just buying it straight off the bat.
Man, my PS5 just collects dust these days, so I got to get it right off the bat. Because first of all, the game does look phenomenal.
It does.
I'm hoping I hope they iron out a couple of my things with that game. You were alluding to this, and it's really weird that this could be happening again. It released like 2 weeks prior to Breath of the Wild, which is probably known as one of the greatest games of all time.
Yep.
This game is releasing a week before Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard about Elden Ring, it may go down as probably one of the best
games of all time. Did you get Elden Ring on PlayStation?
Nah, I get it on Xbox.
Coward.
I got it for the digital, and I wish Elden Ring would do crossplay because that would be dope if you were to get it. Because my brother and I can share. And,
I didn't know Elden Ring was multiplayer, so.
Oh, yeah, it is. He's a big Skyrim fan. And to me, this looks like same vein, big open world RPG, and it would be kind of cool where if we wanted to, like, I can create a class, he can create a class, he can join my game, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I just got it, so hopefully that we can get some more, time in. But going back to Horizon, you're probably not going to understand the story because I didn't really understand it that much either. Like, even beating it, I had to go back and look it up. And the story's not bad. It's almost like a Terminator story.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is human creates something goes obviously wrong. That something, which you obviously know it's in the video game, pretty much
takes over the world.
Devastated the world. But what's really the big spin on it, which is really interesting. You mind if I spoil it for you? Because there's a lot of people.
I watched a bunch of videos and stuff because I skipped through most of these cutscenes. I tried my best to listen to all of them, especially at the beginning. And now, after meeting these random tribes and meeting the leaders of these tribes, and I just don't care. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just gonna watch a YouTube video to tell me what happened. Yeah. I'm okay with fighting some birds and shit, but.
But yeah, the story portion that gets to it is, I can't remember the scientist's name that your Aloy is technically a DNA clone of.
Yeah.
But like, she practically realized, like, there's no way we're saving Earth anymore.
Yeah.
And the only way to save Earth is to actually have a post plan to save Earth. So after so many years go by, maybe we can recreate and repopulate kind of thing based off of DNA and genetic sequencing and cloning and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's pretty cool, and it's called Gaia, like, which is kind of cool. Like, Greek mythology, isn't that like the Titan or something?
Gaia's the Titan, the Earth Titan.
So it's just cool stuff like that actually kind of made, of interest, because, not going to say this to be fear-mongering, but it's something that you could see happen.
Yeah.
Like, in our reality.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think robot dinosaurs are going to be a thing, but...
Dude, that'd be dope. Chris Pratt. Jurassic World, whatever, for robot dinosaurs.
God, did you see the trailer for that movie?
Dude, I want to be excited for it.
You're excited for it? It looks trash.
I said I wanted to be.
It looks trash.
Dude, here's my thing about that, which would be really cool. Instead of doing, like, Chris Pratt following, like, whatever storyline it would be, because it is kind of interesting, because, I mean, we've used dolphins in World War II to, like, disarm mines, for instance.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole aspect prior to, like, the second one and the first one for, like, some kind of military application, it kind of makes sense. Well, now they're, like, running wild, and I guess they're breeding like wild, too. I'm not too sure. Based off the trailer, it looks like that.
Well, it's but, like, basically me, they're set free on the world, basically.
Yeah. But what if we made an isolated story, for instance, of each one, and, like, Jurassic stories instead of, like, doing this world where you're following it? Because, like, the coolest scene in that whole trailer was whatever that water dinosaur is. That thing is sick. And I'm sitting here in my head like, imagine if you had a whole movie about that thing.
That's just Jaws.
Like, taking out some, like... Yeah, but, dude,
that's
it's that dinosaur, though.
That's the Megalodon.
You're not wrong, but I'm just saying, like, you could do so many, like, cool things with, like, instead of saying, hey, every dinosaur that's ever existed, let's throw them in here and, like, make something happen. Like, just what if, hypothetically, the movie is, you're sitting there and you go with your family of 4 and you're camping, and the rest of the movie is trying to get out of Yellowstone National Park because the T-Rex is ravaging through it.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be kind of cool, right?
It would be cool.
But, yeah, that was just another little rant.
No, I've just been playing those two. Just those two. I haven't played anything else. I've been playing GTA 4, but I think I mentioned that on the last show.
I know you're a big Old Republic fan, right? Did you, or not the whatever? Did you buy that on Switch or no?
Knights of the Old Republic? No, I didn't buy that on Switch, but only because I played it 20 billion times, and I'm just going to play the remake, so there's no point in getting it.
I haven't played it.
I have been playing I played the Old Republic, the MMO, for a little while.
Gotcha.
But all my friends kind of bounced out of it, so then it was just me running around. So.
Gotcha.
Still fun though, especially after watching Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian and stuff like that. It gets you. It gets you to come back, man. That's for sure. Gets you to come back. Do you want to get into the news?
Yep.
All right, so I guess the big one. So there's two big ones, right? Well, let's start with the little one first. Uncharted movie came out. I want you to guess. We'll go ahead and look real quick. We'll go ahead and give you an update. But I want you to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for Uncharted.
Man, normally I would be like terrible, like between 15 to 25. but it does have some star power, you know. So I'm
Okay.
thinking Mark Wahlberg and what's his name, Spider-Man. Can't think of his name right now. I feel like they could carry it a little bit. Someone
Okay.
give a solid 33.
Close. Close. They're at a roughly 48% on Rotten
Okay,
Tomatoes.
okay. Well, that's not bad.
That's
actually
trash.
better than I thought.
That's trash.
Hey! It's not certified fresh, but
It's
the
not
tomatoes
fresh, you're
not
right.
splat at 60 though. So you're only 12% off from being hypothetically a movie that most people would say you should see it or not should see. And at 48, you're almost at a 50-50.
What's funny though is looking at the reviews for it, they're really not trashing it. They're not saying it's awful. They're just saying that it's average. Which
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay
we
with
figured
that.
that, right?
Yeah, like I'm okay with that. I didn't expect it to be life changing.
Well, I don't know. To me, it's like, first of all, that movie or that series is based off of probably one of the best movies, some people would argue, or franchise with Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
So you're really just making a modern day Indiana Jones based off an IP that was kind of based off an IP.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's doing nothing new. I know circling back, but like if you did Horizon Zero Dawn as a movie, that's new.
Yeah.
There's nothing really out there with robot dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be
Like
so
you could do
expensive.
some. Oh, it would, but you can do some pretty cool stuff with that. And like even The Last of Us is not new, but the only thing about The Last of Us is it does have honestly, The Walking Dead kind of did this too, but you're trying to bring it back down to more of a character story within that environment.
Yeah, it's very original.
So like, and also it's HBO. I know Druckmann's involved. I think quite a bit. So like that one, I'm pretty hyped on.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
Too, we're gonna be like, that's probably gonna be a phenomenal. And I'm hoping they do enough with it that we're caught off guard. And what I mean by that is like I want a little bit of Game of Thrones stuff because first of all,
yeah, I want some stuff to change
Last
up.
of Us 2, you're immediately caught off guard, which is awesome. You know, there's so many people that were disappointed in that portion.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me actually in The Last of Us 2 because like you could see that coming, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not saying you see it in the story building up to it coming, but the fact that what he did and how he did it after what went wrong, of course you're going to have some enemies, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a brutal world, so it's like nothing's off, limits there. So yeah, I saw that coming in a way. And then like with the way his brother acted to it, it was actually more surprising to be honest with you. Because in the first game, your brothers, right? But the first game, your brothers just kind of like, hey man, I don't want you to stain, what I got going on here.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, he's like, you killed my brother, bro. And like one of the coolest missions in the game,
him sniping.
You're going against him as that. Like it is a dope mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's some really cool stuff in that story. I know I sound bad. I'm just talking about the overarching story is what I'm mad at. Yeah. But yeah, that story's gonna be dope. And I hope I fully trust that. Uncharted, like I said, dude, it's based off an IP. I mean, like,
do you think it's gonna do well?
I do not think it's gonna do well.
You don't think it's gonna do well?
I think Jackass will probably make more money than it.
I think it's gonna do okay.
I will say with like Mark Wahlberg possibly and Tom Holland.
You think Tom Holland's got a little flame in a little flame since Spider-Man kind of riding that high? Like people will see it because Tom Holland's in it.
See, like the star power possibly could bring some people in.
Yeah.
I just
because there's people like me who's already got tickets and like I was going regardless, but
yeah, you watched the trailer though, and at no point was I ever
like I gotta see this,
and like it's really weird because like Uncharted, I played them all, beat them all.
Yeah,
was never a huge fan of any of them because that game is literally Uncharted Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Which is everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
Nathan jumps and he grabs the only shingle or the only brick in a building that completely falls. And I'm just like, I get it. It's a video game. And pretty much all video games are this way because you have to create a, what is it called? I can't think of a word right now. It's an easy word. But you got to create something in the game to be able to play it, right? Or an altercation to go through. Yeah. But like in that game, it's just like you're in this real world, I guess you would say. You're just a treasure hunter. And like Uncharted 1's actually probably the most grounded one, literally. And it's not, and the game's not that great, but you're in an isolated island, and yes, a PMI, private military or whatever, they end up showing up and they're just like, hey, we're here for the same thing. Like, I get that. That's kind of cool. And the whole, it's based on the island. Dude, Uncharted 2, then you're like speeding on trains with helicopters are
I
involved
know.
now. Buildings are like
I
crashing
like
down.
that they took the Uncharted 3 plane scene and they used that in the movie. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty cool. But also, like, if you're gonna do that, to just use the story from Uncharted 3. Like, just do that. Just because, I mean, the story's good in Uncharted 3. That's my favorite Uncharted story.
Yeah, I think actually Uncharted 3 might be the best game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that too. I love that game. But I mean, just do Uncharted 3. I'm okay with that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You gotta tell me how it is because I probably won't go see it.
I will. And then I got Batman not shortly after that. So
Now, Batman, I'm excited for. I'm ready to see Batman
yeah,
because
I got tickets. So
I don't know, it looks pretty dope. And who doesn't like Batman? And I think the pre-screens for that came out, and they pretty much said
don't trust
like,
Warner Brothers. I don't trust Warner Brothers. I want to
but
trust
like, I
Warner
think
Brothers.
they came out and they
but-
said it's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but they did the same thing with Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 is a garbage movie and should be burned to
okay,
death.
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong on that.
Just saying,
but yeah,
they said the same thing about BVS too, which I don't think it's an awful movie, but it's not good.
I just don't want Uncharted to hinder, like, because there are some, and that's the other thing too is with what Sony has, and maybe they don't have enough, and what I guess does and like IP do exist. I just feel like they need to give them proper treatment to actually make really, really good.
The casting,
You know,
was
and The
bad.
Last of Us, I believe, will be the first one. Like, I think, actually, I take that back. I think Halo is going to be a cheesy good. I don't think it's going to be great.
Are you
But
excited
the
for
Paramount,
Halo?
yeah, I'm excited, man.
I'm
Like,
not.
I kind of want to see like what they're going to do with it. Like, and I think, and here's one of the reasons I'm excited for it is because I like the idea of having Chief, you know, and some, like I said, some of it looked a little off, you know, definitely with the elites, but
Yeah.
like Halo is also just Star Trek. And Star Trek has some dope scenes, man. Was it when
Yeah.
the Enterprise is going to get like, and you can do scenes that doesn't even have to have Chief in it to expand out that universe and the what
Did you
is it,
see
USMC
Gary
and all that
Whitta's
stuff.
tweets
Like,
yesterday?
I did not.
Okay, Gary Whitta, obviously writer of Rogue One and all that stuff, he was tweeting yesterday and he was talking about all these movies and shows that he pitched and that didn't get made, but he has like writing of like scripts and stuff and like summaries of what they would have been. And one of them was a Halo series which he pitched. And I liked his idea. His like first 5 episodes all focused on like Captain Keyes as like the main character, and Master Chief didn't show up till like episode 5. So that sounded pretty dope to me.
See, like my Halo, and I've had this idea for years, and it was probably planted in there from somewhere else. I heard it. Mine would be you don't even know it's Halo.
Yeah,
You just drop it, and you just whatever name that has some kind of galactic meaning to it.
yeah,
Marines just crash, and you want to do it like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to before like certain things, you know, pan out. But like this is the first time into the frontier, and they just crash. You know, all of a sudden, blah blah blah, ship is down. We don't know what's going on. Send in this like recon, nothing to do with Chief, nothing to do with anything, and literally like it be that ship was taken over by the flood, and
yeah.
it's just like a horror film, you know, like mutated other Marines like attacking you, and like then they're trying to escape the ship, they lose like that would be like a really cool series, and then you can flesh it out into like the you know, reaching, I guess, galactic tale. But I don't know, man. It's Halo. I've told people, I think we talked about it too. It actually has some really good core story to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it did get a little long-winded and long tooth, I guess you would say, with some of the stuff that like with like 4 and 5, with how they were trying to like continue the story. But like, there's a lot of good stuff that like Halo can bring to the TV and Paramount Plus. Man, I'm just curious because like I saw some of it, it did look a little cheesy, so I'm like, I just want it to look good, right? It has some dope battles, and then you know we can do something with it, right? But we'll see. I think Last of Us again will be the best of the best this year, definitely when it comes out. And then hopefully, like Uncharted doesn't ruin the other IP chances that could exist, because I think Gears of War could make a pretty cool, you know, movie. We can turn it into like a fracking thing, like in Pennsylvania, some mega rich oilers like fracking. You know, he's like, we're so much money, and then all of a sudden, you know, the locusts just pop out and just start killing people. You know, like just throw a little bit of weird stuff in there like that.
That'd be cool.
And I know The Rock said that supposedly he's in talks or knows about a movie that either coming out at the end of the year or be announced at the end of the year. And the biggest speculation was Call of Duty on that, with him possibly being mocap for the next Call of Duty, which is
Oh, he was talking about a new. I thought he was talking about a movie project that had some
no,
gaming
he
significance,
is,
right?
but the rumors have kind of went
I thought
through
it was
saying now.
Fortnite.
Oh no, that was kind of funny making a. They made a prediction saying that he will be within the next Call of Duty, like not this year's Call of Duty,
Yeah.
but the following Call of Duty, after being announced that he'll be in a movie, which is kind of cool because if he could tie it in, like if the movie came out 3 weeks prior,
Yeah,
and then and of course you don't want to play as The Rock, but The Rock could be
a character.
Captain
in it.
Price, for instance, something like that. So
Yeah.
that would actually be a kind of cool way of tackling something, to be honest with you, if they were to do it movie wise, because Call of Duty can do it in, right? Because each story is pretty much standalone for the most part, I guess you would say. But yeah, we're talking a little too much movies, so we got to move on to the next story, which we'll just go ahead and drop. Speaking of Halo, I don't think it's as big as it was originally because we're a little late
I
on
don't
it.
think it is either.
PlayStation did acquire Bungie.
Yeah. What are your overall thoughts on that? I thought it was a big deal at first, and now I'm kind of just like, it's really not that big.
My overall first thoughts was like, man, you guys fought for freedom for Microsoft.
Yep.
Went to Activision, didn't work out again, and now you're going back. Like, I don't understand that portion.
And I just feel like they're
than
just going to jump back away too.
I actually think their value is diminished because I was reading something that like
I
the
think
Destiny
Sony
2
overpaid.
current players. Oh, they did. I think there's a lot of people that say Sony overpaid quite a bit, but it's okay that they overpaid because they did get Insomniac.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the steal of the decade when it comes to like acquisitions or buying, studios, because that studio is magic, man. But yeah, I don't know. At first, I was just like, it's just weird on the Bungie side, and I hope they have some insane IP that they're sitting on that's not Destiny, because I honestly think they need to get away from Destiny, because if you're only bringing in 1 million players pretty much on average outside of your peaks, is you release a new thing within 1 month, you may get like quite a few back, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, first of all, that's an overpay. The monetization is not that high on it. First of all, what made Halo up through 3 and even reached in some points, so good, it was not really the story, or it was literally how finely tuned the multiplayer was.
Yeah.
You didn't have some kind of overbearing weapon.
How the mighty have fallen.
Well, I mean, there's people that love the Destiny multiplayer, but from what I've heard and seen,
Halo Infinite.
right? Well, no, Halo Infinite's multiplayer is really good. It's just what's happened with its multiplayer is it turned into they're trying to follow this whole monetization thing, and I just don't think they were ready for it.
No.
And I'm still cheering for Halo because I'll tell you right now, I still think Halo's multiplayer plays better. And in some way, and the other thing about Halo, which I hate to say this, but like it is more skill based than I think any other shooter. And I think that turns it off a little bit. And people are like, oh, that makes no sense. But what I'm getting at is like literally in games such as Apex Legends, which you can, it's got more skill. You can come into an altercation where a dude has, it's called a red shield, right? Which is 75% more health than you have.
Yep.
From the get go. And that could be an altercation. Yes, Halo has an overshield, but you have to fight for the overshield and everyone knows where it's at.
Yep.
And it's a power play. Same thing with all the weapons across the board. It's an arena-based shooter. There's no overbearing weapon that you can bring into it, which is what Destiny had a problem with. Literally, when I played Destiny 1, every update, it was like, we nerfed this to beef this because everyone used it. I remember, I think it was called the Thorn, dude. Everybody, I'm not even kidding you, in multiplayer was using that weapon. Every single person. Then it was the next weapon was some kind of assault rifle. Then it was another weapon. So it was just like if you didn't use it, you couldn't compete.
Yeah.
And it's really hard in a game that's supposed to be loot based, right? And you have all these legendary weapons. So I think they need to have another IP and actually get back to the roots and actually bring in something that's going to be more arena based. And it really blows my mind because honestly, Microsoft would have been better off acquiring Bungie in weird ways because of the actual history they had with it, and they could actually be like, hey guys, remember that old game you used to play with? Let's get some work on that. Let's do some stuff with it. Because I know everybody's making jokes like Crash Bandicoot, which is what a PlayStation IP originally is now.
It's owned by Microsoft.
But like Halo, the people who created it are now owned by, and I don't know. It's pretty wild. So, also, I was thinking of the other things, and I don't know if you know this or heard even more about it, but I remember if it wasn't, I believe it was Tencent. Did they not invest a huge amount of money into an original IP from them?
From Bungie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a pretty good portion of money that they invested into Bungie, and they owned a certain percentage of Bungie as well.
I have no idea.
Oh, I'm gonna look this up, make sure I'm not wrong.
No, you're good. You're good. But
I don't know.
my overall thoughts on this is that they overpaid because they only own one IP, and it's Destiny. And
it was NetEase.
They're not going to make Destiny not multi-platform. So.
Yep. But it was NetEase. NetEase invested quite a huge chunk.
I don't even know who NetEase is.
They're the ones that make all those old MMORPGs. You know what I'm talking about? Like they'd be like free to play that everybody would download every other day, and you'd get like some kind of malware on your computer.
Oh, gotcha.
But yes, and I believe it was supposed to be Bungie's next project. Doesn't have a name, so this was in 2018.
Oh,
so
is that arena shooter that everybody's talking about?
I don't know.
I think they're making like a hero shooter or something.
Yeah, well, it has to be coming to light too soon, and maybe they have a lot of belief in that, though. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if PlayStation ends up losing Call of Duty and stuff, they at least now have two studios that are really good at first-person shooters.
Well, Microsoft actually came out and said they are not planning on taking it even after the deal. So the only thing I see, and people are like, "Why would you spend $90 billion on it?" First of all, it doesn't matter because Game Pass is growing, and that's going to be the draw. Either PC Game Pass or hey, new Call of Duty, literally it's free, and it's not literally free. I understand that, and everybody makes that mistake constantly. But if you already have that as a sunk cost, for instance, and I'm almost call it a sunk cost because let's say you're going to pay $15 a month, it's going to be there for you, right? So that's dope. And I think personally, I know it's not supposed to be done until 2023, I believe. The next this deal, like the full merger and acquisition. Yeah. But if they speed it up to the point, or even get to the point to where, just imagine, dude, going into this holiday season on Modern Warfare 2, if they get far enough along where Microsoft has, or even better yet, this would be even better, because they still have the marketing rights with PlayStation. PlayStation has whatever, PS Direct or whatever you're going to call it. At the very, it shows the new Modern Warfare 2 trailer. Yeah. Everybody's dope. Boom, November 17th. I don't know what the date is. Yeah. And then a really tiny day one Game Pass launch. Dude, how sick would that be, dude?
That would never happen.
Well, you'd rather do it that way than Microsoft literally right after be like, hey, by the way, this is coming day one Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would rather not even show that Game Pass was a part of that.
Well, they did for MLB The Show.
I know they did. I still think it's a stupid-ass decision, but...
And now MLB The Show is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I know.
That's a good thing.
And we'll dive into that too. But yeah, my overall thoughts is it's weird. I think they're, like you said, they're trying to protect themselves because I saw that guy. You sent me the video of it, and a lot of people were pretty against that dude's thought, including a bunch of IGN people I saw, a bunch of other people saying how dumb it is from what he was kind of alluding to. Yeah. Because they are doing a aggressive move, I guess, or aggressive market moves to be able to make more and more market share, gain more and more market share, and push the industry in a different direction that they want to see fit. Yeah. Whereas he was alluding to like the whole idea of, Sony can't keep up, it's going to price them out, and next thing you know, Sony's like, dude, we know Sony's not going anywhere. Yeah. Second to that, Nintendo is literally the best-selling console now. Probably going to pass. Was not PlayStation 2 or PS4, probably within this month. Who knows, man? It may even pass, because, again, I'm going to bleed this into the next thing with what was announced at the Direct. Some retirement homes, man, they're going to be looking at their kids and be like, remember that Wii Sports? Like, give me that new one, man. Me and, Uncle Joe over here want to play some tennis again. Like, dude, that thing it's selling like hotcakes. Yep. I do not see Sony going away just because Microsoft wants to do some kind of price aggression to get more market share, buy up, competitors. And second to that, man, if Sony ever got to that point, man, Nintendo and Sony get back together. I think I mentioned this to you. Yeah. And literally just be like, hey, we're going to help you create a higher definition Switch. This Switch will have all the first party Nintendo games on it still. Yep. But what we're going to do within this partnership is it'll be like, in tandem, hopefully created with Sony, so it will be maybe a better, more 4K-ish, product. But then we're just going to put, we'll switch IPs and say, hey, Nintendo could be on, hypothetically, Nintendo, I said that wrong, but Nintendo would be on PS6, for instance.
Yeah.
So you're racing Mario Kart 10. Well, actually, it'll probably be 9 because that game.
That's not going to happen, but it'd be insane.
But I'm just saying, like, if they did that instantly, even a partnership, it doesn't even have to be a merger acquisition kind of thing.
Yeah.
Immediately, I don't care how big Microsoft is at that point, it would become like this massive Eastern publisher company, Nintendo, Sony, and then this massive Western, which would just be Microsoft.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I don't think it'll happen because I think Sony has enough IP right now to at least carry it through for sure.
Yeah.
I think also a lot of people, Epic Games, I believe, also is becoming a massive publisher, and I think they're growing, and they're going to have a lot to say too. Like I think they might become the next 4 out of the big 4. I mean, I guess you can still argue
Tencent,
Steam, right?
Isn't it? Isn't Epic Games owned by Tencent?
No. They own. Tencent has some shares in it, but it's not a high amount.
Gotcha.
As in, like, where they have any like voting power, I guess. But I don't know, dude. It is the cool thing about it is, I will say, is like gaming industry was stagnant for a while, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. And with Microsoft getting beat up pretty bad by the PlayStation 4, man, they went to the gym, they pumped some iron, and they're coming 40% out now. Oh, actually, that's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
For the Epic?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Man, that's right down the road from me, man. We're going to go some, like, Chinese communism running up our streets soon.
Yeah.
But, sorry, I'm not saying that offensively. And if anyone took it that way, I'd just make it a joke because we live in the same state that Epic Games is in. Yeah. We're headquartered in. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Bungie, who knows? Everything that it says as of right now, existing multi-platform games will be multi-platform. Same thing with what Microsoft said with Activision. So in a weird way, it's just like, why'd you acquire them in the first place? Now, again, Microsoft makes more sense because they want to push this Game Pass.
Yeah.
The Bungie one right now for Sony, unless like they have a couple things in the pipeline that's about to come out, like I don't understand that one too much, and definitely the amount that they paid, because it is kind of like, I don't know, what are you necessarily acquiring? But a lot of people will say they're just trying to acquire their, their knowledge within that space of creating an ongoing game. Because Sony did, again, this is another thing, but they launched, 2025? They're hoping to have 10 ongoing live service games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have
Destiny.
Bungie on your side. Well, I mean, Destiny's, I'm just saying, like, they're probably the first one to do it, right? In some extent, outside of the MMORPG, we'll say. So, like, you are bringing in a lot of knowledge there, and that can help. And that's pretty cool, too, because I think you're going to have some IPs, by the way, come back from Sony. Mm-hmm. And I hope you're listening, Sony. But just, dude, Twisted Metal ongoing service.
I couldn't see that. No.
It would be sick, though.
It would be sick, but
Metal, man. Like,
we saw what happened to Destruction All-Stars. Not going to happen. Not going to sell well. Not going to
Yeah. You're not wrong on that, but it does got some IP.
No, I love Twisted Metal. No doubt about it. It's an iconic franchise, but if you want to make money and you want a live service game, I don't think Twisted Metal's the answer.
And PlayStation needs to do this yesterday, by the way. Dreams.
Yeah.
Drop it for free, man. Like that game will explode being free.
Yep.
Because there's some
NPC
dope
too.
projects I keep seeing.
Put it on PC.
I mean, like, there's
and
a
let
lot
it be crossplay between the two.
Yep. I think it would be really cool if you really wanted to compete. I kind of say this, but I don't want to say this.
Yeah.
But SOCOM, bring it back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really want it to be a live service because I'd rather have, because the old SOCOMs are pretty dope, man. You had a squad, you could command everybody. It was pretty much like the PlayStation Ghost Recon, right? Like for the hardcore players. And that stuff was really, really cool. So, but they're sitting on a ton of IP, a ton of stuff that they can make into some kind of live service. I think one of the first ones they're going to drop, and I think the reason why you're seeing this, I do think The Last of Us could be live service. The second one, I believe, is the Guerrilla Games, where I believe they're doing a Monster Hunter style Horizon. They've been doing that. They've been working on it since maybe 18, 19, I believe.
I could see that.
And they keep hiring for even more, like excuse me, like
stuff.
stuff. So that would be a really cool one.
You don't think Killzone's coming back? No, I'm kidding.
Well, you could do Killzone too, and I think Sony could do something like this, which makes it even better because of how strong their individual IPs right now for single player is.
Yeah.
Like that to me works. Where if you're wanting to do a live service and you can get the best of both worlds, like just be like, hey, we're dropping The Last of Us Part 3. Yes, it's $70, but here comes the update of The Last of Us, whatever you call it,
remake.
Factions or whatever.
No, like factions packed in.
It could be out. No, I'm talking about it could be out for 3 years already.
Yeah.
And then you're just updating it with the new content, The Last of Us Part 3.
Yeah.
So like same thing with Horizon. Be like, hey, we just dropped Forbidden West. Aloy's next story is coming out in 3 years, but right now you can join up because there's like 4 or 5 clans already in the game. Yeah. Which clan do you want to be? You know, bring your clan ranking up. Go out there and take out the best score. Like build the best gear.
Yeah, that could be cool. You're right. That would be cool.
Yeah, because Ghost of Tsushima did it already.
I was about to say Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, they might just do that with the next one.
Yeah, they just.
I never played that game either.
I'm just saying they just got to separate it, like Warzone separated from Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? So you buy Last of Us for the single player, but automatically, no matter what, it's already free to play for an ongoing service. So that way, even if you're not even caring to play the single player, you can still bring people into that universe. So, Sony, just contact me up, 6-figure salary, let's go.
I'll take it. The Nintendo Direct. Anything that caught your eye on that? With me, it was just Mario Kart, and I'm gonna buy the Mario Kart DLC because you got me. You got me, Nintendo. You took my money. Congratulations.
First thing is Nintendo, dude. Whatever they did and how they did it, and even the spacing and pacing of what they're doing with their games, man, it is masterclass of how the industry should run.
Yeah.
First of all, and Nintendo also drops almost unanimously at least working games. Very rarely do you get a broken game from a first party.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Dude, this Direct, first of all, they still are saying Breath of the Wild 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The latest release was the beginning of September for Xenoblade 3. So we don't know their October or November. And Nintendo has been pretty notorious for dropping December games too. So first of all, that was exciting in some ways because I'm like, damn, obviously we're either getting Breath of the Wild 2 or some other big heavy hitter in the fall, right?
Yeah.
Again, speculation say Pokemon. I know Pokemon Day is coming up, so we'll probably get a Let's Go. Who knows? I think it'd be cooler if we just did a DLC for Arceus and said, hey, here's Kanto region. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
That would be cool.
But that was my first thought was like, this is exciting because, man, they brought some heat already for the first half of this year, dude.
Yeah.
Mario Strikers, one of the only games I played on the Wii Online, dude. Loved that game.
Yeah.
And now they're dropping a new one that looks even more sick. And just what kind of party game can you have where you're sitting there literally, hey guys, I got one Switch. I think it was 8 players. Let's play Mario Strikers. Whatever the end of the score is, you know, the loser has to take the amount of shots that we scored against you. I'm just already thinking of some dope stuff for it, dude.
Yeah.
So that game right there is pretty exciting. I kind of want to see how much more they have going into it because it really was. If it's just like, hey, here's the game, you can play, you know, it's just multiplayer, you earn equipment, or are we going to actually have like cups and stuff? Because I believe the old one you actually played through kind of like you do in Mario Kart. You do the chores or whatever to get the cups. I guess it is cups in Mario Kart. But like, are we actually going to have where some kind of single player? It doesn't have to be like the Mario Kart RPG style what they're aiming for, but at least have some kind of progression system that gets pretty challenging. So I was kind of excited for that. The other big one is Switch Sports.
Oh yeah,
dude,
sports sequel,
and it's online.
Yep.
The only one they don't have on it right now, which I thought was really interesting, is no boxing.
Oh really?
Very surprised about that one because I was like, dude, you tell me some boxing, let me connect across the world.
Is golf on there?
Dude, that'd be golf is coming in the fall, so it's going to be an update after the fact. Yeah, so I think they added soccer, which I don't believe was on there prior to.
How do you do soccer? Do you strap them to your legs? Do you use the straps from the Wii Fit Ring?
No, it comes with a strap
to your feet. And...
Yeah, no, this game comes with a strap too, so they're going to allow you to put it on your leg. Yeah,
nice.
So who knows? The soccer one sounds kind of weird. I'm not really.
I was about to say, what is it like? You're going to kick the ball, and the other person who's got a controller has to like block it.
I guess, but we'll see on that one. But the tennis, the bowling, volleyball, like all that stuff looks pretty dope. And again, they're adding soccer, golf. So it's going to sell easy right now. I can guarantee it. This year alone, I'm going to say at least 10 million. But by the time the Switch launches, I could see almost a 50% attach rate to it. Not even joking. So that could be up to $50 million on that game, dude. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. And then honestly, the only other one I want to throw out here, the new Kirby game. Is this going to be the like Super Mario 64 of Kirby's, where it's going to just take it to a new level?
Yeah.
Like I'm excited for it, dude. It looks good. It looks funny too when he eats a car or a comb. But yeah, it looks pretty dope. So and there's other stuff too, dude. I used to play Advance Wars. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna pick it up. The Project Triangle Strategy, it looks pretty dope. I'll probably end up picking it up down the road. That game probably ended up coming to some other services too, though. So that's kind of why I'm a little hesitant on it, because who knows if it's a year exclusive. Octopath Traveler was on Game Pass. I know it sounds weird, but I'm like, maybe I'll just wait for Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's I thought it was very impressive direct. If you're a Switch owner,
lots of good stuff.
As a hardcore Switch owner, I think the only one that really would probably stick out was Kirby. Outside of that, everything else is
PlayStation showcase. We haven't had one of those in a while. I mean, we have for Gran Turismo, but I don't care.
And you had one for oh yeah, we didn't even mention that, the Project Tokyo Ghostwire, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I ain't watched that.
They had one for that too. It looks all right.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't care.
It looks all right. Gran Turismo,
I tried my best to get into Gran Turismo. I got Gran Turismo 5. I got Gran Turismo Sport. I even got the VR version of Gran Turismo Sport. Not for me. Yeah. It's too realistic. Not for me.
I don't think they weren't releasing anything big just because you got Horizon coming out, so they didn't want to kind of
they don't want to overshadow it.
And honestly, I think they might as well just wait towards close to E3, like what they've been doing, and dropping one either before or after, because with PlayStation, unless you know some other things that they're sitting on, the only thing I can think of is you're going to do a God of War showcase, and then more than likely you're going to do The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And you're going to show whatever that new multiplayer gaming or whatever that will be.
Show me more Spider-Man.
Yeah, but is this supposed to be? Is Spider-Man supposed to be 2022?
No,
Spider-Man is not supposed to be 2022 though. Hey guys, don't bark. My dog's about to bark. Sorry, listeners, because they like to bark at people.
No, I think that's probably next year.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, man. PlayStation has Spider-Man, and I think you sent me that meme, right, where it was just like,
I have nothing left but Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Harry Osborn.
That was pretty dope. So there's a lot going on. This has been the craziest 2022, I guess.
We picked a great time to start the podcast back up, that's for sure.
A long time, and it's just fun to, I don't know, dive into it. I'll just make a quick announcement because I know we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
And I know we are going to go to Sacred Symbols.
Yeah, that'll be fun. In March. That'll be fun.
Maybe if we get more following and stuff.
Or is it March or April? It's April, right?
Yeah, it's April. But maybe we can meet up with some people if we get even more followers that like this.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be fun.
Or whatnot. Spread the name a little bit.
Yeah.
Not use it as a marketing opportunity, but I am.
But I am.
But I mean,
it'll be fun. I'm excited.
I've
never been to Richmond, so I'm excited to hit up some places and stuff like that, and hang out with you. Of course, we need to look at hotels and stuff eventually, but we got time.
I feel like we need to drive back that night too. It don't even matter. We'll figure it out. But just to fill out real quick, because I know it's kind of a weird world, and some people will be like, "Oh, you listen to that podcast? Well, we're done with you guys," and then the other half is like, "You listen to that one? Oh, we're on board."
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's silly. We still listen to Kind of Funny. We still listen to Beyond here. I don't do as much IGN as I used to.
No, me either. I occasionally will listen to a Game Scoop just to hear Damon's voice again, but
yeah, I like Game Scoop still. And I'm not saying because we don't know the individuals.
Yeah.
Beyond, it's just kind of one of those weird things where you can get just as much PlayStation experts, I guess you would say, with other PlayStation podcasts that exist. Now, podcast like the Xbox one, I still listen to a little bit just because at one point it was the PlayStation Beyond of the PS3 era at one point.
Yeah,
when Xbox was just sucking, right? So I still podcast a lot. That's what it is. So I still listen to it quite a bit. Yeah, we're just like I said, we're fluid. We like everything. It doesn't matter what you do. Sacred Symbols, we are both Colin guys just because we thought he was a little more
He's
against
smart.
the norm.
He's smart.
You know,
He's a smart man.
and there's just this kind of thing. Like, I'm not saying, you know, if he did or did what was wrong. That's for you to decide. But like, he was very smart, very knowledgeable. I actually thought he was hilarious when him and Greg were together, and that's one of those things where like, I thought it was phenomenal.
They had a great chemistry together.
Steps up pretty well because if you actually listen to that podcast, it's very diverse when it comes to ideologies. Like, it just is, because one of the guys is very one way, and then Colin. And it's funny is Colin's really not that way. Like, he's socially libertarian, if anything, and it just he just gets a bad rap for a bad rap. And I'm not sitting there defending what we're trying to do, because if we want to go see a dope live podcast, we're going to go see it, right?
Yeah.
First time we done it, we actually talked about doing the kind of funny. Just back in the end, we didn't have enough money.
Yeah, well, we didn't have enough money, and you're gonna have to go all the way to California, and that's not fun.
Yeah. So it's just kind of cool because now it's on our coast, at least one portion of it.
Yeah. But now, if my company pays for me to go out to California because we have another office out there, then I might go out there and dick around. I'd try to time it around one of those events or something if I could. But that'll be good. But thank you so much for listening to the Devil's Advocate podcast. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll probably be talking about a little more about Horizon, most likely, right, Keaton? Talking about Horizon and hopefully whatever other craziness is happening out there in the gaming world. Be sure to click the little subscribe button if you're on the podcast app. Leave us a review. Do the 5 stars if you can. And we'll see you next time. Bye.